Yeti is a diesel-powered 1973 Land Rover, and this is going to be my biggest snow trip yet. It's my first camping trip. It's going to be the first time we're going to go out far away from my house without a truck or trailer or anything. I'm driving it from my driveway all the way up to the top of a mountain, which is a lot for an old truck. And this trip will push every single person in my group. First camping trip in Yeti. I could not be more excited. I'm ready to conquer the world today. I hope you are too. We've got a whole bunch of friends. We've got a couple of Patreon supporters. We got Nick out with his van. Nick's van. Focus on Nick's van. So sweet. And even Kelly. So we're gonna head up the mountain. We just got done airing down and it is dumping in the mountains right now.
There's a bug in here. I was not expecting a snow gnat.
Here in Western Washington, we have not had a lot of snow in the last couple weeks, but like a day ago, it just started dumping in the mountains and it timed out perfect for a trip that I was putting together. So here we are. It's still super, super cold, colder than usual in the mountains. So the snow is very, very powdery, much more sugary than what it normally is here. And considering that all that is following on top of our like few foot deep base layer from earlier in the season, this should be a pretty epic trip.
We found a mystery offshoot that we've never been to, and there's very few tracks in it. We're gonna try it out, and we're gonna have Kelly lead for a bit. The old Snow 10. Oh yeah, this is much more untouched up here.
Nick is actually carrying my tent and the gazebo that we bring out in the snow because it's longer than my truck bed. Now I could fit these in there with some straps and stuff, but luckily I've got friends like Nick with huge roof racks.
I'd like to talk a little bit more about gear in this video. I'm a gear nerd, I love gear, and I get questions about gear all the time. So I've got this new cool tent that goes in a tent kind of thing that I'd like to walk through because I know that some of you that are interested in winter camping would dig it. I think it's really cool. It's expensive, but it's super cool. And I've got some other gear that I don't really talk about much that when we're at camp, we'll do this video a little bit different. You know, we're gonna still snow wheel and have fun like usual, but it would be cool to chat gear a little bit today.
So the road forks to the right and goes up to the trees to the left. On the right, it goes to like kind of a turnaround area, but I have missed the road, and I'm very deep.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, you are.
Oh.
Oh. Get a little further in the I'd like. Yeah, that's not good.
I fucking won't catch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hold
We have a stuck Nick too?
hold up.
Oh no, I don't think we yank you.
No, we got a winch.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking
Yeah.
I'll hook a winch from here. If somebody else hooks a winch from there, we can just kind of evenly pull them up.
Okay.
But Nick, where are you trying to go?
Well, I was trying to turn left, and then it just kept on going straight, and now a little right.
You got the Zoolanders. You can't turn left.
Yeah.
Isn't that Zoolander?
Yeah.
What happens when you put it in R, Nick?
Yeah, I guess you could winch to the back again just to pull the front over.
What happened?
Yeah. Go ahead and
Stop there. Stop.
really?
Okay.
I was gonna say, try turning it his driver. Do it overseas driver. Yeah, okay, now hard passenger, and come straight towards me. I think you do a couple of those and
Try and kick a ditch in the snow for him here.
God, I want a Delica. I mean, look at it, it's so majestic. Good Lord, what a unit. I mean, it's not a great time to talk about how great it is when everyone's having to kick a path for it, but I want one of these so bad. Front locker. Yeah, that's right, folks. He's got a front locker. Oh, all right. Got to shake and bake again. Got to turn it, driver, go back, turn it, passenger, come forward. Okay, never mind. Hey, why don't we hook a winch to you? I can't believe nobody suggested that.
I did say that. I said, let's hook the winch to you.
Yeah, I don't know if you could tell I'm being extremely sarcastic.
I'm over here shitting my pants. Look at that wheel off the ground right there.
Stunting.
Your winch
I just
works
like
right
Nick's
now.
answer. I said hook the
winch
winch
works?
up. I'm in.
Keep tension on it. More tension. There you go.
Oh, I love the ground.
I love how similar Nick's van sounds to that. That is a 2.5 liter indirect injected turbo diesel. British, of course. That is a Japanese 2.5 liter indirect injected diesel. They both sound so similar. Now, Kelly's in there, dude.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing to see here. Nothing, just driving by braille.
Google Maps said to go that way.
The road's not right there.
I don't know. I could see why you made that mistake. It looks like somebody made a road there.
Right there.
Totally. I'd camp there.
I know, because I'm looking at the map and it splits right here.
Oh, really?
And there's that opening right there.
Oh, so that is supposed to be
That's
road.
one of them. Yeah. I
Dude,
mean, I
that's
think it's just
crazy
over,
how
like,
big that drift is then that you're in.
I think it's just over. a couple feet.
Golly. Yeah, baby. Hell yeah.
Nick and I are going to take our plucky foreign diesel powered vehicles up this little trail and get out of the way so that they can start recovering Kelly. This was a very simple mistake with very big consequences. And I think it could be interpreted as a good reminder as to why it's important to go with a group full of capable rigs, because we were able to make this not a very big deal. But if Kelly was by himself, or if he just went with a friend that didn't have a winch or something else, they'd have to go back to civilization to get help. This could be a very serious recovery if you don't have a good team around you. Meanwhile, I'm discovering that where I'm trying to go doesn't go anywhere.
Okay, false alarm, Kelly. This isn't a road. I just set the drone up so that I could get set up to film the next bit of plowing. And I don't know, 100 feet in front of me around this next tree, it just ends. So there's nothing up here.
Okay, cool. I guess we'll turn around.
While we're getting turned around, this is a good time to bring up today's sponsor, Onyx Off-Road. We found this trail because of Onyx Off-Road. Every trail you see us find is because of Onyx Off-Road. In the before I had Onyx, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, you'd ask around, you'd go to clubs, you'd go to 4 Parts and ask the locals there, and you'd try to figure out where you're allowed to go snow wheeling. Now it's very easy because you open up the Onyx app, you can put on the snow layer, they have the ranger station information, so if you're questioning whether or not it'll say open or closed on the app, but if you're questioning that information, in the same app, it shows you who to call. So it makes it very easy to find out where to go, and that's why you keep seeing all these awesome trips that we take where there's no other people out here. These places aren't secret. This is your public land. Go enjoy it. It's starting to get a little bit later in the day. We need to find camp, and we need to get back down this little offshoot that we took and hopefully get to the top of the mountain, which is like 5,000 feet. So we're gonna get turned around and hopefully get up there before the sun goes down, but this time of year, it's kind of hard to expect that you can set up camp in the daylight just because it gets dark so early, but we're still going to give it a shot.
Fancy traction boards.
Get a shot.
Oh yeah, I remember some of these little ledgy spots. Big bank now though. You going down to snow pressure now, Kelly?
Yeah, I figure it's time. I saw him struggling up there a little bit, so I was like, I'll just air down.
You want snow 10 to lead?
Yeah, I mean. Oh.
Well, why don't we do this?
Yeah.
We'll have the snow 10 lead. I'll go right behind you.
Okay.
And then I can grab Nick with my rear winch if I have to.
Yeah, as long as we have him in between us.
Yeah. In betweenst. I want it. I want to build a Delica so bad. Mrs. Dirt Lifestyle, forgive me. I haven't bought it yet, but the want is real.
I almost ordered one of these for the Onyx Build Challenge last year, but decided that I wanted to finish my Jeep truck instead. And I mean, that blew up in my face. This is one of those vehicles that it checks all the boxes for me. And in Taiwan, you can get left-hand drive manual diesel Delicas. They're everywhere over there, and they're not even that expensive. So I'm just weak, okay? I was strong enough to resist it. I won't be strong enough to resist it forever. So at some point, I would love to see a full Delica build on the channel. And I mean, it says right on there, the Mitsubishi Delica is exciting vehicle.
Of course, as soon as I wasn't filming, Kelly went to take the lead and almost slid off the side of that cliff. Yeah, it's a long pull.
Yeah, no, it's too long.
Well, so are you not going anywhere right now? Or is it just, it's getting sketchy?
This is a textbook example of the disadvantages of having an automatic rear locker, or automatic locker in general in the snow. Kelly has a selectable front, and his front is staying up where he wants it, but the rear is an automatic rear locker, which in my experience always acts like a spool in slippery conditions, which is why the rear is just trying to drop out and go down this hill, and the front he still has like a little bit of control over. Kelly really needs to be recovered forward, but we're gonna just give it a tiny tug backwards, I think, just to see how it acts.
I feel like if I worked at it, I could get around you though and be a winch point for you or use my winch. Are you rage crawling right now, Kelly?
Yes.
Rage crawl! Oh. Don't turn rage crawl into rage fall, please.
Well, do you want to pull my rear end over that way?
I can. Here's what I'm concerned about. These kinds of recoveries are always tricky with a rope. You know what I mean? Because the only way I'd feel comfortable doing it, and I'm sure you'd feel the same way, is if all I did was put a little bit of tension on you. I definitely can't yank. I think it's too dangerous. It's either that or, like I said, I mean, I'm totally willing to, I definitely think I can just go around you right here and then be an anchor point for you. You want me to put tires on it?
Yeah, if you can put tires on it back there, just get a feel.
I'm gonna put tires on it so I get a feel for it.
The snow that I'm trying to plow with my front driver's side is a little bit too old for what I'm trying to do. It's not like fresh powder. It's old and it's hard, and it's a little bit too difficult for me to plow that in order to get around Kelly. So we're gonna hook a strap up, and I'm just gonna slowly put a tiny bit of weight on it, and we're gonna see what it does to Kelly. Best case scenario, I pull him out. Worst case scenario, I can pull him off out of my way enough that I can get around him. And then, of course, there's the worst case scenario, and I don't want to talk about that.
My little front passenger fender mirror is coming in so clutch right now because I can't see. All I see is downhill. I can't see the berm. But with that mirror, I can perfectly see where the side of the Land Rover is, which is awesome.
Whoa!
Ooh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, now I might be able to get by you, Kelly, and get in front of you. I mean, we straightened him out.
Yeah,
But
I think he's kind of going off the,
it sure looks like
off the precipice.
he's wide, but he's in a position now where if I can just stay high, I can go in front of him.
Yeah.
me
So
off.
if I, yeah, or push him off.
Or push me off.
I'll go down with you, Kelly. Too dark for that camera. Trade me cameras. Thank you, sir. I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna see if I can stay super high and get around Kelly without my rear end sliding where his did. It's wide enough for me to get by him. I think it would be smart to throw a couple traction boards down because it's going to allow me to stay off your truck.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get up here and it's not going to let me, but with traction boards.
And then my truck keeping you from going into the hole.
Yeah, that too. I know I'm getting somewhat close. Am I getting, is it 6 inches, a foot?
About 2 inches.
2 inches?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, your tires are gonna hit my.
I figure they
rock
hit your
slider
tires.
or my tires.
Yeah.
And I don't really care. I mean, we've touched rubber before. It's not a big deal.
So yeah.
I've seen it.
If I get a shovel, I can shovel this down a little bit, and then if I throw a traction board down, I should be able to get right by you.
Yep. I think if we cut this out,
Yeah. It wouldn't. This is easy snow for digging too.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to record this.
it's all going.
Maybe we'll redeem.
So here's what I'm proposing, GJ.
Yes.
I'm proposing we dig this down just a little bit so that I can try to get a little higher.
Yep.
And then can we use a couple of your max tracks
Yep.
and lay them down right here just to make it to where I won't slide in, Kelly?
Traction. Totally.
I'm almost there, but I'm
You're close.
yeah.
So
It's one of those things where I'm too proud to like truly appreciate it.
It was just a crazy idea. I used to have a bigger one, but
I'm gonna get my. We're gonna see. We're gonna do
a real
machine versus
shovel.
man. I'm gonna get a real shovel.
Oh, this way.
I want to get my tires up here if I can. Yeah.
It's working.
yes, straighten it out. Yes.
Oh wait! Oh! You're on tire on tire. You're tire on tire now. You got to move. Yeah, there you go.
Now I get to dance this fine line where I want my Land Rover to be light because it's good for me, but I want it to be heavy so that my friend Kelly doesn't like roll off the side of a mountain. So I'm in a weird spot. It didn't really work that well. I'm just not quite heavy enough to be a solid anchor point for an S10 on 39s. We even tried working with Max Tracks a little bit, and gravity was winning big time. So I like backed up super fast and like ass packed my Land Rover into old snow that was way more dense. And I definitely risked getting myself stuck by using this, we'll call it a method, but it totally worked. I mean, we were able to get me back to a position where I'm going to be a really solid winch point that can't move because I'm like stuck in the old snow. And he was able to winch himself out sideways, and then I got into a little bit better position. Turns out I wasn't stuck, and was in a better position to pull him forward. And it all worked out. And before you knew it, we're on our way to camp. I found an awesome camp off to one side. We didn't make it to the top of the mountain, but I wanted to try and do that in the morning. But first, we just needed to set up camp, unwind a little bit around the fire, because that's half the fun out here. Good morning. Welcome to Dirt Lifestyle Cribs. I told you we were going to tour my tent, and now we're going to do that. Oh, and for our younger viewers, you might not remember a show called Cribs. That probably was out like 20 years ago now. We used to sit around our houses and watch the way rich people lived, and they would tour their mansions. This isn't exactly a mansion tour, but I know I'm going to get questions about this camp setup and how we're keeping warm out here. Okay. We have a tent in a tent. Check this out. I guess I could have cleaned up a little, but here's what we're working with. Oh, I'll make sure that doesn't fog up on us. So I've got my gazelle tent that I've had for years. Dude, I think this is gonna fog up on us. I've had my gazelle tent I've had for years. And then I have this insulation tent that I found from a Scottish company. I believe it was Scottish. And this like inflates with a pump. It was pretty expensive, but I wanted to figure out a way to ground camp somewhat comfortably. I've got the sleeping bag over on this side, and this is like a 0-degree sleeping bag type of thing. And this is like a thick insulation to help manage the temps a little bit. Now, I did use a buddy heater last night, off and on, but it was because I was cold from my air mattress going flat. I haven't used this air mattress in years, which sucks. And it went flat, so I was basically sleeping right on the snow in my sleeping bag. But at least it was a thick, heavy-duty sleeping bag, and at least I spent a lot of time in the snow, so it wasn't really that big of a deal for me. I still got a pretty decent night's sleep, but you know, sleeping basically right on the snow is not ideal. However, I would say that I was probably a little bit warmer because this material is in the floor too. So it's an entire tent, floor included, that is insulated, which is nice. But I noticed when I woke up this morning that underneath my sleeping bag was a Nate-sized divot. So even though I wasn't really that warm, I was heavy enough that I kind of turned into a glacier and slowly crushed the snow beneath me and made a Nate-sized divot. It was not the best night, but we made it through. I still feel bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and ready to conquer the world today. So now we're going to take down camp, and I think we're going to try to make it to the top this morning. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to still try to go up to the top?
Yeah, for sure.
There's a yes, a yes. Nick's living a van life. He probably can't hear me over there in his vantion, we'll call it. A van mansion. At least I got one laugh.
It's a van mansion.
It's a mansion, dude.
It is.
So now we're gonna take down our tents and everything and go explore up. When I take these snow trips with my friends, I prefer to make it to the top of stuff. And in this case, stuff means mountain. Actually, in a lot of cases, stuff equals mountain. And I would prefer to make it to the top. We could just go down to the bottom right now, and we camped. We did everything we said we were going to do, but we're only like 600 or 700 feet of elevation gain from the top. You'll see in some of these clips that Kelly's struggling a little bit, Nick's struggling a little bit, but luckily we were able to get all the way up to the top without anybody getting stuck. And just another shout out of how impressed I am with these Arctic Truck tires and all these little sipes and their ability to just like grab in, whether I'm leading or I'm following. This little unit just works so good for what it is. But before long, I find a little play area that gives me a serious run for my money.
No, this is the top. We go down from here. I wanna take a right over here and explore this. There's like a little open area that was my original target for camping. I just gonna, plus it looks like it'll be fun snow to go get stuck in. This is fresh powder and it is definitely drifty. I think I'll hang out here, you know?
I mean, you look really good just right there.
With a little bit of finesse, I was able to get this out of its hole, and I was able to make a decent amount of progress, but eventually it didn't matter. I got stuck anyway.
Might have bit off a little more than I could chew on this last push.
It looks cool though. It's crazy how it's like a ramp. It's going up.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's not necessarily, it's pushing, but it's going up too, which...
It really, I'm wondering if I get rid of that big, wide, flat front bumper that hangs low, if it would be able to climb better, you know, because it's not trying to like push as much snow as it goes up. Well, and also, I got to get rid of this heavy Land Rover engine and heavy Land Rover transmission and heavy Land Rover transfer case. If I put a little lightweight like V-dub TDI in this with like a lightweight transmission and transfer case, I think the front's going to be able to do what it wants to. Since we're talking about gear today, Yankum Ropes released this thing called a pendant, and it's this little strip right here that goes on the end of your winch line. See how there's a knot right there? That's called a cow knot. So what this does is it makes it to where you have this like sacrificial end that if it starts to get frayed and messed up or whatever, which happens to this, all this synthetic line, you can just spend like, what is it, 60 or 80 bucks or whatever it is to just replace the pendant instead of replacing your entire winch line. So pretty cool. You might be wondering why I'm not using free spool. The whatever grease they use in this Badlands winch, when it gets really cold, it's super hard to pull. So I've been just manually rolling it out. Plus, if you get a bunch of ice and stuff packed in there, I found that it comes out a little easier if you're using the winch.
A little over a week ago, I took Mrs. Dirt Lifestyle out on a date in this Land Rover. I go to the parts store and I get car parts in this Land Rover. I go to the gym in this Land Rover. I take it up in the mountains. I just drove from my driveway all the way up to the top of this mountain in the Land Rover with no truck and trailer. First trip that I've had enough faith in it that I have done that since we have rescued it. Old trucks are worth saving. This sat on the side of a house for 24 years, and I'm still working out some quirks and kinks and figuring out which drivetrain combo is going to be the best for like long-term ownership and stuff. But dude, I know there's a lot of newer options out there, and sure, they're quieter and a little more comfortable and whatnot, but you can't drive this thing or even see it in a parking lot without smiling and the people around you smiling. If you can, your next 4x4 project, take a look at the classics. Look at the old CJs, look at the old FJs. You know, there's some cool, weird, old stuff out there that is worth saving. And the satisfaction of putting it all back together and bringing it up to have fun doing this kind of thing, I think is so valuable. So don't overlook the classics. They still have a ton of value in this world.
Thanks for coming. It was a fun trip. Tell Nick you want to see more of his van in my videos. This van is so rad. And I'd love to see, I don't know, this is only the first time him and I have even been out in the snow together this year. And it would be cool to see him more. So help me peer pressure my friends. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you on the next one.